couple of people did ask me when they got on if there'd be a commentary. And if you want, I'll point the buildings out for you as we're travelling up the river. I will warn you before I start, I'm only a member of the crew, okay? I'm not a guide by any standard. Say I've worked on this boat for over 10 years, so I'll pick a bit of knowledge. Is that okay, folks? Would you like a commentary? You would, okay. I'll try and be best for you, okay? We'll start on the left-hand side here. We've got the big warship, the HMS Belfast. She was built in 1938 in the Harland and Wolff shipyard in Belfast, Northern Ireland. She saw action during the Second World War. She was the flagship for the United Nations in the Korean War. And today, a museum to former naval sea power. Visit the ship and explore all 9 decks. You go down in the engine rooms, you go right up on the bridge there. See the people waiting up on the bridge. A very good day for the kids. If you've got young children, worth taking them on the Belfast. A nice little day for the kids. Now, on the left, you can see the archway between the buildings. That is Hayes Galleria. It's a very nice shops, bars and restaurants. That used to be a working dock. Look at the river wall. You can see where they filled it in, and they would have pushed the barges under the cover there to be unloaded. So a nice little shopping complex on the left. The tallest building in Western Europe on the left-hand side, the Shard of Glass, designed by Renzo Piano. He was the man who designed it. It cost £1.5 billion to construct. The 72nd floor, right up the very top there, is a public viewing gallery. Pay about £30 to go up there and look out of a window. In the middle, you've got a hotel. There's some lovely shops and restaurants. Say the Shard of Glass, the building on the left. See that building up on the right with the white crane on the top of it? That's number 20 Fenchurch Street. The very top part is a viewing area. It's called the Sky Garden. It has the largest indoor roof garden in the world. And believe it or not, it's actually free to go to the top. You don't have to pay. You just book online, they give you a time and a day, and it's free to go to the top of that building. This is London Bridge. It's the 5th London Bridge in 2,000 years. The very first one built here by the Romans. A medieval London Bridge for more than 500 years. It had a church, shops and houses. The London Bridge that stood here before this one, it was sinking. And it was sold to an American businessman. And the old London Bridge today has been rebuilt in America. Lake Havasu City, Arizona. Has anyone seen the bridge in Arizona? You've seen it, very good sir. A lot of people think I'll make this story up, but it is true. Say the old London Bridge, and I haven't gone crazy. As we, that's where everyone thinks, as we go through London Bridge, on your left there's Southwark Cathedral. It dates back to the 14th century. Something I'd recommend you do if you get the time, just behind the cathedral is the Borough Market. Have a little walk around the old Borough Market, very famous here in London. For the boys and girls, for the children, in the dock, a pirate ship. Sir Francis Drake's ship, the Golden Hind. Drake was the first Englishman to sail the world. He did so, it took him 3 years with a crew of 80 men. That ship you can see there, it's not a model, that's a real working ship. Been around the world twice, open as a museum today, the Golden Hind on the left. The old warehouses, they've been converted into apartments, offices. Look at the word wharf on the building, W-H-A-R-F. Look at each letter, they stand for warehouse at riverfront. That's what a wharf is, a warehouse at riverfront. This is Cannon Street, the train station on the right, Cannon Street Railway Bridge. Now, a very strong tide on the river today. The tide came in very high, come up over 7 metres in 5 hours. You have a look how fast the tide moves. Look at the columns on either side. Look at the middle there. It's a very, very strong, powerful current. Not even the strongest Olympic swimmer would make any headway against these currents. So it is very, very strong. And quite frightening when you fall in. Now, as we go through, on the right, we've got the barges. Now, these containers in the barges, they're filled up with London's household rubbish. London's rubbish is put into containers. The barges, they tow London's rubbish downstream. They tow it down to a place called Belvedere, and they've got a big incineration plant where they burn all the rubbish. This is Southwark Road Bridge. It's London's least used bridge. A very, very difficult bridge to find. The main approach roads, they are hidden. They are hidden so well in the back streets of London, no one can find it to use it. They say if you see anybody on the bridge, give them a wave, they are probably lost. It might cheer them up. So it's very well known, it's a very difficult bridge to find. There's some lost people, give them a wave. Now as we go through the bridge, that's it, give them a wave. On the left-hand side, we've got the round building with the thatch on the roof, the Globe Theatre of William Shakespeare. The only building in London to be allowed thatch on the roof since the Great Fire of London. In the summertime, May to September, go inside, watch a famous Shakespearean play. Plays are performed in a traditional way. There's no microphones or stage lighting. It's all done like it used to be done in the time of Shakespeare. The only difference today is that women perform in the plays. During Shakespeare's day, every person in the plays were done by men. So today women perform in the plays, which is obviously not best. Now ahead of the boat we have the Millennium Footbridge, or better known as the Wibbly Wobbly Bridge. This bridge was opened on a Saturday morning by the Queen. It was closed the same afternoon by the police. It was unsafe. So many people came over the bridge at once it started moving, about 1 foot in either direction. They closed it down, they re-strengthened it, renaming it the Wibbly Wobbly Bridge. You may have seen it in the Harry Potter film. He flew under the bridge in a car. Did you see that? Yes. So it was pretty bad, people hanging on for dear life. There were people crawling on the bridge for safety. A shame they built a bridge here. If you look to the right where the bridge goes ashore, a lovely view there of St Paul's, the masterpiece of Sir Christopher Wren. Now ladies and gentlemen, the lovely Cathedral of St Paul's, 365 feet tall, 1 foot for every day of the year. Above the dome you'll see people standing at the top, and from there you will obtain a fine view over London. Buried in St Paul's you'll find the tombs of Admiral Lord Nelson, the Duke of Wellington, and the architect Sir Christopher Wren. Really is a lovely building, St Paul's on the roads. Over on our left hand side, just back there on the left, you've got a little Christmas market and the Tate Gallery of Modern Art. If you like modern art, that's the building to go to, the Tate Gallery of Modern Art. Ahead of us now we have the Blackfriars Bridges. Have a look over the bridge on the right, there's a church spire. That is the church of St Bride in Fleet Street, and it's known as the Wedding Cake Church. A young couple married in this church years ago. They had the local baker bake their cake like the spire of the church they were marrying in. And that is where you get the traditional tiered wedding cake design from St Bride's Church in Fleet Street, known as the Wedding Cake Church. Under Blackfriars Railway, look left and right of the boat, you'll see red support columns. They carried the very first railway, the Chatham and Dover Steam Railway line. The top half of the railway became unsafe, that was taken away. They could never ever remove the columns. The other bridges would fall down. It would undermine the foundations of the bridges close by. Think how long it's all been there to pull them out here and just come falling down. And they're not doing any harm there, so they're just... As we go through on the right, we have a semi-circular building, Unilever House, soap, detergent and food manufacturers. Got the building there with the green sloping roof, the old City of London School for Boys. Next door, the red building looks like a church, Zion College and Library. a school and a study for the clergymen here in London. Some very nice buildings there, folks. We go back on the left-hand side now. We've got a red building. It's got a glass canopy and a tower. That is Stamford Wall. Used to be a cold storage meat warehouse converted into luxury flats. See the glass canopy up there, folks? That's a restaurant. It's called the Oxo Tower Restaurant. Said to be one of the top 10 restaurants in London. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice a bit today, sorry about that. So yeah, it's said to be very good up there. But it is very expensive, like most of these top restaurants. The windows in the tower are OXO, where they made the gravy, the famous stock cube. On the right we got a ship. Now you can see it's got a funny design painted on the side. Now in the First World War they painted ships in a similar fashion to that. Probably not as exciting as that, but something like that. And that is not there to hide, but to confuse the eye. Now if you looked at that from a distance, it'll be very difficult to tell the speed, direction and shape. It's not really to hide it, but to throw the eye. They called it dazzle camouflage in the First World War. They painted over 400 naval ships like you see there. On the left-hand side, you've got the local TV studio, Channel 3 ITV. It's where you get all your morning programmes, the evening news reports. They're broadcast live from the buildings here on your left. On the river wall to the right, a stone archway is Temple Arch. That is the official boundary line between the two cities. The City of London we leave behind us, the City of Westminster we enter into. The Wellington used to be part of the New Zealand Navy, today a livery hall, a drinking club for retired sea captains. Be a member of that club, you must have been in command of a ship at sea for more than 25 years. A lovely view ahead of us here, the London Eye, the clock, the bridge. Time it right, there's a double-decker bus coming over the bridge there. You want that in the picture. Always try and get a double-decker bus in the same view. Now on your left-hand side, we've got a building that shows an advertisement screen. That is our National Theatre. Inside of that building, you've got 3 separate halls. The main one, the Olivier, named after Laurence Olivier. He was the founder of the building. Voted every single year to be the ugliest building in London, and I think we might agree and say that is a very ugly building. I think it looks more like a car park. It's not too bad, is it? A much nicer building that I prefer is on your right hand side here. We've got the lovely stone building with the dome. That is Somerset House. Built over 200 years ago for the Dukes and Earls of Somerset. For many years they stored a birth, death and marriage certificate. Taken over now by the Coulthard Art Gallery and King's College. Ice skating in the courtyard of that building. Very nice there. Ahead of us we got Waterloo Bridge, better known as the Ladies' Bridge. It was built by ladies in the Second World War. When all the men were called away to fight a war, the girls at home, they done all the construction, and the bridge here was one of them. And I'm sure we must agree, gentlemen, the ladies of London, they made an excellent job on Waterloo Bridge. So well done the girls, well done. On the right, the building with the green roof and the flag, that's the Savoy Hotel in the Strand. Very, very nice and very, very expensive. One of their riverside rooms for one night is £1,500 for one night. You do get a full English breakfast.
Tawagan mo lang para makuha ako sa video.
Ano gagawin?
Naka-on yan. Itutok.
Now, slow down, we've got a little boat here alongside, but we don't want to upset our friend Charlie there. Rock him around a little bit if we go past too fast. On the river wall we got a column, and that's Cleopatra's Needle, given to us by an Egyptian government in thanks over defeating